Good evening, my brothers and sisters. How are you doing this beautiful evening, my brothers and sisters? This is your brother Tony, and he has a good feast for you this evening. Come to the dinner table because you are going to go out and you going to be filled. I guarantee you. Just taste some of this good food for the soul, my brothers and sisters. Go ahead and invite other brothers and sisters to the dinner table. Keep in mind that we may have some guests and have a little room for them to sit down so we can share some of this good food for the soul for them also. If this is your first time at the dinner table, allow me to introduce myself. My name is Tony M. Toomer, and I talk about relationships. I talk about relationships basically from a spiritual point of view. When I say spiritual, when you look in the book of Genesis, I strongly believe that God had an initial relationship with the man Adam. Secondly, he had a relationship with the woman Eve. Third, the God represented the woman to the man Adam. In the presence of God, Adam said, bone my bone, flesh my flesh. I should call a woman because she came from man. That's the type of relationship that I strongly believe in. If you come to the dinner table and you have another view about a relationship, you have what is called a free will. You could do what you could do or believe whatever you want to believe, but I'm letting you know straight up, I believe in the account of how God created a relationship from the beginning when he started out with Adam and Eve, man and woman. That's what I believe. He could have started another way, but he chose not to, and that's what I believe in, okay? And that's what I'm going to talk about at the dinner table tonight. I'm on two different platforms based on the book, and I'm on the tube. Those of you that are on the tube, I may make some comments to those that are on the book. You may not see their name in comments, but I will call their names and comment every now and then. Those you on the book, I may say something to those that are on the tube. You may not see their names and comment, but I will call their names and comment also. We are all family here. And I want you, brother and sister, to believe and feel like you can ask me any question at the dinner table, and you can make your comments, but be very respectful because we may have some guests here. So this family time, okay? So what do we have on the menu for tonight? What we have on the menu for tonight is 7 red flags that he or she is not from God. That's right. 7 red flags that he or she is not from God. My brother and sister, when it comes to a relationship, like Forrest Gump said when he was sitting on that bench, on that, you remember Tom Hanks playing Forrest Gump? You remember what he said? Life is like a box of chocolate. You never know what you're gonna get. And when it comes to a relationship, my brother and sister, you never know what you're gonna get, okay? But you can really know. On the flip side, you can really know. Now, have you, brother, or have you, sister, ever said it to yourself? Something told me not to do it. Have you ever experienced that before when it came to a relationship, brother or you sister? Something told me not to do it. I knew I had this funny feeling. I just knew something wasn't right. And I know some of you brothers and some of you sisters, you can identify what I just said. If you have a desire for a man or a woman to be in a long-term successful relationship, there is one way to obtain it or get to that point. Now, on the other hand, or on the other side of the coin, the flip side of the coin, there is the short-term relationship. And what does the short-term relationship offer you? Now, the short-term, it can appear like long-term because, brother and sister, you can be deceived and you could get into a relationship. It could go on for years and years, but it's really short-term because you're not going to really get nowhere with these type of men and women. It could appear to be exciting at first, and it could appear to be promising until that mask start falling out. And this is what we are talking about at the dinner table. Relationship 7 red flag that he or she is not from God. Now, when we go to the appetizer, and what is the appetizer? When we go to the appetizer, my brother and sister, the book of James. And who is James? I'm not talking about the James, the one of God's son, Jesus apostle. I'm talking about Jesus' brother. Do you not realize, my brothers and sisters, that Jesus had 4 brothers? Their name is in God's word. A lot of people don't talk about it. Even a lot of your ministers never mention that Jesus had 4 brothers, and their names is in the Bible. Some people just think that it was just Mary, Joseph and Jesus. No, Jesus had 4 brothers, and he had some sisters too. It doesn't list their name, but it got an S on it, which means Jesus had more than one sister. But Jesus' stepbrother, James. James' mother and father were Mary and Joseph. Now, Jesus' mother was Mary, but Jesus' father was God. You understand that? But Jesus' stepbrother, James, he wrote this in his book. And the book is the book of James, chapter 1:13. Again, it's James chapter 1:13. James chapter 1:13 said, when tempted, no one should say, God is tempting me. For God cannot be tempted by evil, nor does he tempt anyone. Now, I'm going to say this 2 more times. When tempted, no one can say, God is tempting me. For God cannot be tempted by evil, nor does he tempt anyone. Now, I'm going to drive this home again. God, the book of James said, when tempted, no one should say, I want you to really understand it, my brother, so that no one can say, God is tempting me. Because God does not tempt you, brother and sister. Now, he may try you, but he never tempt you. You see, when you be tempted, for God cannot be tempted by evil. Whenever you are tempted, it's by evil. God does not tempt you. He tries you. Even though it starts with a T, God tries you, Satan tempt you. Nor does he tempt anyone. How you doing, Sister Pamela Holt? Watching. Thank you for coming to the dinner table, sister. Now, we're about to get into the menu. Relationship, 7 red flags that he or she is not from God. Number 1, brother and sister, if you have a relationship with God's son, Jesus, you have the 4 major qualities in you. You have wisdom, you have knowledge, you have understanding, and here's a key factor, you have discernment. Discernment, my brother and sister, is the ability to see things from God's point of view. If you have a relationship with God through his son Jesus, if Jesus is living in you, you have discernment. So, brother and sister, the Lord knows you, a lot of you have a desire for a member of opposite sex, and the Lord knows that you want to do it the right way. However, guess what? Satan knows you have a desire too. Satan knows you have a desire. So when Satan bring a man and woman to you, it's to tempt you to take you off course. When God bring a man and woman to you, he bring that man and woman to you as an asset and a liability to call you to elevate. That's what God does. Satan don't bring nobody to you to call you to elevate. He brings somebody to you to pull you away from God and to destroy you. So whenever you meet a man and a woman that is to destroy you and a liability, that man and woman is from Satan himself. Satan has sons and daughters, so you need to be aware of that. Number 1 are the 7 red flags that he or she is not from God. Your discernment, my brother and sister, isn't calm. When a man and woman, if you have a desire to be with a man and woman, and that man and woman is in your presence, the spirit on the inside of you, your discernment will be kicking in. And your discernment isn't going to be calm. It's going to be restless. It's going to be restless. Or you're going to have a sense of lack of peace when you meet the wrong man or the wrong woman. For example, if a man and woman come your way, my brother and sister, a member of the opposite sex, something just ain't right. If you was in math class, the equation, if you see the equation on the board, 1 + 1, what is the natural answer? 1 + 1, it's natural to say 2. That's the right answer. 1 + 1 = 2. You will get an A for 1 + 1 = 2. But if the wrong man or woman is in your presence, when you look at the board and you're in math class, it's going to be 1 + 1 = 3. It doesn't seem right, does it? Even if you put 3 behind 1 + 1 equal 2, you're going to get it wrong. There's no way you can convince a teacher that 1 + 1 = 3. No way you could do it. And that's how it is when it comes to a relationship between a man and woman. Something just is not going to be right. I'm not saying you're going to feel it. You're going to know it, because your discernment is going to be warning you. It's going to warn you. It's going to be flashing on the inside of you. It's going to be warning you. And that's the voice of Jesus talking to the spirit that's in you, and the spirit is bearing witness with your spirit. So at that particular time, my brother and sister, you need to go by your discernment, and you need to move or remove yourself from the presence of a man or woman that Satan bring your way. You see, God brings a good man and a good woman your way. Satan brings an evil man or evil woman. It's not going to be no in between. There's no middle of the fence. So your discernment going to tell you, walk away. Now, if you don't walk away, whatever happened, or if you still communicate with the person, whatever happened, you make that decision, because God does not take your will from you. He will talk to you, but he's not going to override your will. But he will warn you. Number 2, you do not see the spirit of God's son Jesus residing in that man or woman. Let me say that again. You do not see the spirit of God's son Jesus residing in that man or woman. If you are a follower of God through his son Jesus, you will be able to, again, use your discernment, and you can see whether or not Jesus is living his life in that man or woman. It will not take you a long period of time, and you'll be able to tell by how that man or woman talks and their behavior. Because how that man or woman talks and how that man or woman moves, it cannot be hid. There's nothing hid. God will expose that man or woman to you, my brother and sister. He will expose that man or woman to you to let you know that his son does not live in that man or woman. At that particular time, you still got to exercise your free will and decide whether to remove yourself from the presence of that man or woman and stop with all forms of communication. Number 3, you will sense that he or she is becoming more important than your relationship with God. You could have been on fire for God, my brother and sister, but you going to, and God was your number 1 priority in life before anyone and anything. So when this man or woman come into your life, you going to subconsciously put that man or woman on a pedestal, and you're going to start compromising to satisfy that man or woman, because more than likely that's that man or woman, the son of Satan, you're going to put him or her on a pedestal. Now, 2 people can't go on a pedestal. It's either going to be the Lord or that man or woman, which is the son or daughter of Satan. Because everyone has a spirit. You come into this world with a dead spirit, my brother and sister. So you got a void in your life. So it's going to be a spirit that's going to inhabit your body. It's either going to be God, Holy Spirit, the spirit of the Lord Jesus, or it's going to be Satan and his demonic workers. So you will become sensitive that God is not more important to you like he used to be. You're going to lose your fire, because you're going to try to satisfy that man or woman, and they're going to you're going to compromise. That's why you should not be unequally yoked, my brother and sister, with the wrong man or the wrong woman. That's what's going to happen. You're going to become unequally yoked. Number 4, he or she is very secretive. While he or she is very secretive about his or her life, he or she wants you to be an open book. You see, when you are when you get into a relationship with a man or woman, you need transparency. You need a man or woman that's going to be open. Now, it's going to take time for a man and woman to start being open with you, because there's a trust factor. He or she got to start learning about you. But if you just take that, when you ask a certain man or a certain woman question and they dodge the question, and when they answer question, they like middle of the road, they're neither hot or cold. These are lukewarm individuals. When you read the book of Revelation, Jesus addressed the church by being lukewarm. Jesus said, I would rather for you to be hot or cold. If you lukewarm with Jesus, he spit you out. So my brother and sister, if a man or woman is lukewarm with you, spit them out. Because I want to ask you a question, my brother and sister. If you're in a relationship with any man or woman, and he or she claim that he or she loves you, let's put love to the test, because love is an action verb. If that, and it's a show me. Don't do all that talking, show me. If a man and woman is really into you, don't let that man and woman say, I want my relationships to be private. When a man and woman tell you, I want my relationships to be private, say deuces and walk away. Why would a man and woman try to hide his or her relationship with you from other people? Why that man or woman will not go public with you? If he or she claim that you're the one, why they don't want everyone to know it? You ain't got to get on the 6 o'clock or 11 o'clock news and make that broadcast. If a man and woman is truly the person that really say he or she love you, that man or woman do not mind other people knowing it. Even Jesus, you can't be secretive with Jesus. If you have a relationship with Jesus and Jesus, the Lord Spirit is in you, somebody gonna know about it. You can't keep it secret, because you're gonna talk about it, or you going to how your lifestyle is. A man or woman gonna know that you're a follower of Christ, because you're not gonna hide it. But you ain't got to go around saying Jesus, Jesus, Jesus all the time. But men and women, they're gonna be sensing that there's something particular about you. And Jesus said, if you deny me before men, I'm gonna deny you before my Father and the holy angels. That's right. If you want to be secretive with Jesus, he don't know you. So my brother and sister, why would a man or woman be secretive with you? If that man or woman is a Christian, they don't mind showing the light to other people. So if you barely know where another man or woman stay, that's a problem. If that man or woman always have to come over to where you live at, that's a problem. If you cannot just visit that man or woman without calling, that's a problem. Now, most people that are secretive, they want full access to you in his or her time. But more than likely, these people will put you on the schedule. Some of these people, they would like to do drive-bys and just drop by at any time, but you better not do no drive-by with them. They know where you work. They know about your family and friends, because apparently you introduced them to some of your family members and friends. Now, some people that you deal with, they don't even want to know nothing about your family. They don't want to meet them. And that's another one. They don't want to meet nobody in your family. It's just you and that man and woman. They don't want to know nothing. And they definitely don't want you to know nothing about them. And these people are so secretive, you ask them a question, they will not say yay or nay, because they don't want you to pinpoint them. You understand? They don't want you to pinpoint them. And you're a secret. You a secret, my brother and sister, if they have to take you way out in the boondock so you won't be seen. They don't, and the reason why they don't want you to be seen, they don't want other people to connect you to him or her. A lot of times they're telling you that you're not the one. You're not the one if they have to see you when it's dark, in the cloak of darkness, if they have to see you at all these inconvenient times, if they have to see you, and when they do, if you do go out in the public, it's going to be way out where nobody can see you. Nobody know about you. Nobody. Number 5, he or she hides the fact that you exist. We're leading to that. You don't exist. His family don't know nothing about you. They ain't never heard your name. His friend never heard your name. Nobody never heard your name. You do not exist. And this go beyond secret. You do not exist. Number 6, he or she is a taker, not a giver. You know what the Bible say? What the Bible say? It say that God loveth a cheerful giver. If he or she is always doing the taking and they not reciprocating, that's a problem. How you doing, Sister Tierra Mo? Welcome to them time. That's a problem. It's supposed to be some reciprocation. Now, why are you doing everything? Why are you doing all the calling? Why are you doing all the texting? Why are you doing all the planning? Why are you spending all the money? Why everything got to come out of your pocket? And the only time that man or woman is responsive to you, you always have to initiate. Why do you always have to initiate in a relationship? Because that man or woman is a person that's called me, myself, and I. That's his or her first name. The first name is me. Their middle name is myself. And the last name is what? I. Me, myself, and I. Have you met these type of individuals? It's a lot of men and women that got that whole name, me, myself, and I. You see, when it comes to a man or woman that's a giver, this man and woman, you will hear them talk the love language. And I always say this, you're going to hear them constantly saying things like us, we, our. They want you to be a part of their lives. A man or woman wants you to be a part of his or her life when they saying, this is going to be about us. We could do this together. You know, it's going to always be inclusive. We, us, and this is ours. It ain't no big like that's this mine and this yours. It's not going to be that, because when it comes to a man or woman that state that he or she loves you, my brother and sister, he or she, when they come to you, they're going to come to you and want to say and want to know, what can I do to help you? What can I do to help elevate you? But a son and daughter devil, what can I drain from you? I'm looking for a return without a deposit. I'm looking for a fruit off of the tree without planting the seed. I want you to do all the work and I'm going to reap the benefits. Some of you brothers and some of you sisters, when a man or woman come into your presence, he or she going to either be an asset or a liability. An asset is from God. It's a plus. A liability is draining and it can bankrupt you. And that's what a lot of these men and women are, they son and daughter of Satan. And another thing, a major red flag that this man or woman is not from God. They do not want to get married. They don't want to discuss marriage. They will say that we are in a relationship. They will say we serious. We got a serious relationship. They will say we are committed, but they will not do it God's way. And what is God's way? I always say it. God's way is a man and woman to be serious. God's way is for a man and woman to be committed. God's way is for a man and woman to say, I do. So the 7 points that I just made, the 7 red flags that he or she is not from God. So if the man and woman is not from God, Satan is bringing that man and woman to you. You don't see their daddy, but their dad is in them, because he have specially watched you. Satan has specially watched you, so he know what type of demon to send to you. He can't just send any demon. Satan got a plan for you, brother. He got a plan for you, sister, and he know which one of his sons to send to you, sister. Brother, he know which one of his daughters to send to you. He's going to send somebody to you to dangle the carrot in your face. He's going to bring one of his sons and daughter to you based on lust. That's the key thing. He's going to bring someone to you based on lust. Satan have studied you. And he have a design demon for you. Brother, if you have weakness when it comes to physical excitement, what I mean sex, he got a little doll to send to you. Sister, if you have a weakness and you love money, the Bible said that the love of money is the root of all evil. It didn't say like money, it said the love of money. If you trying to hit the lotto and stuff, my sister, if you like money and material stuff, Satan got the man for you. And why does Satan bring one of his daughters or one of his sons to you, brother, sister? Because he wants you to go down. If you have a relationship with God, Satan wants to be your stepfather. Not only does Satan want to be your stepfather, he wants you to call him not father-in-law. He wants you to call him father. Again, the red flags that a man and woman is not from God. If the man and woman is not from God, what is the other option? It's Satan himself. So you brothers, you got to understand this. The spiritual world overlaps the physical world. You could see things and feel things in the physical world, but you cannot use the naked eye to see the spiritual world. The spiritual world, my brother and sister, influence the physical world. So you got to understand that that's where you have to have your awareness. And your awareness is the spirit of the Lord that's in you. The Lord, when it comes to a relationship, my brother and sister, the Lord wants you to have a successful relationship. The Lord wants to use you, brother, with a good woman. Sister, the Lord wants to use you with a good man. The Lord never brings a perfect man or woman into your life, but he will bring the right person into your life. When Satan brings one of his sons or daughter to you, they're going to promise you the world. God's son and daughter don't promise you the world. They don't promise you the world. Satan's son and daughter, they promise you the world. And if you gullible to it, you're going to fall for it. You got to understand who's your daddy. So if you be patient, God will do his thing for you. If you're impatient and you got a short-term fuse, Satan gonna hook you up. And the 7 red flags again, number 1, your discernment is uncomfortable around that man or woman, and your sense of peace is shaken. Because the Bible clearly said that God is not the author of confusion, but of peace. You're not going to feel good around that man and woman. You're going to have some doubts. That man and woman going to come to you and you're going to be somewhat confused. Because if God had a man and woman from you, your spirit is going to be at peace. It's not going to depend on infatuations. It's going to be about fact. God is going to let you know whether or not you need to take a walk with that man and woman to have a successful relationship. Number 2, you do not see God's son spirit in that man. So, my brother and sister, that is one critical thing. God does not want you to be unequally yoked. That man or woman going to either have Jesus in him or her or not. It's not no in between. You cannot change a man or a woman. If you decide to hook up with Satan's son or daughter, you in for a fall. And what's going to happen? You're going to compromise, and you're going to lose your love for God through his son Jesus, because you're going to compromise. Instead of making God happy, you're going to try to make that man or woman happy. Number 3, you sense that he or she is becoming more important than God. That's what's happened. Because this man or woman is a narcissist. They will pretend to like things that you like. They will pretend all kinds, but the mask eventually going to come out. Number 4, he or she is very secretive. You don't really know much about him or her. They don't even want you, he or she doesn't even want you asking questions. They would say, that's my business. Why are you asking me so many questions? But they want you to ask, they want to know a lot about you. They want you, they'll ask you a whole bunch of questions. They don't want you to know nothing about their lives. But he or she want to know everything about your life. 5, he or she hides the fact that you exist. No one knows you exist. Not one family member, not one friend know that you exist. Only he or she know that you exist. You are a well-kept secret. He or she only deal with you in the cloak of darkness. It's got to be a darkness factor. You know why? Because he or she live in the dark. And he or she more than likely got someone else that he or she dealing with. They will go ghost on you quite a bit. When he or she calls you and texts you, they want you to respond just like that. But when you call, your call go to voicemail. When you text, they don't respond. And then when they do respond to the text, they'll ask you a stupid question like, did you text me? When you call them, they'll ask you a stupid question. Did you just call them? They send your number, they send your text. And on some of these telephones, not only you see the number, a lot of time when people text you, depending on what phone carrier you with, you will see the word read. So you could tell that they didn't read your message, but you don't exist. But your family member and friend know about him or her. And some of your family member and friends have never met him or her because they don't want to meet your family members and friends. But if they do meet your family member and friend, they really don't want it because they just there because they're getting something out of you. It's not you. It's what you can do for him or her or what you have. Number 6, he or she is a taker, not a giver. They want to take, and they're not going to give you nothing. You're doing all the giving. And you will know you're doing all the giving. And he or she is not going to hardly refuse you. And the final part again, he or she doesn't want to get married. But they will say, I love you. They will say that we're serious. They will say that we're in a committed relationship, but you're not the one. I hope, my brothers, and I hope my sister, that I have expounded some red flags to you, not explained, but expounded some red flags to you so you can avoid these type of narcissists, men and women, sons and daughters of Satan. God does not bring you trash. God brings you treasure. Satan brings you trash that wrapped in a pretty box with a bow on it. Brothers and sisters, if you have any question or comments, you can put it in the comment section. You can ask your question, or you're going to make a comment. All you have to do is put the word wait in the comment section. I will wait while you formulating your question or your comment. If you do not, I would like for you to take this carryout plate with you from the dinner table, put it in the refrigerator and come back to it when you need it. Share with other family members and friends, okay? Because it's free. Anything at the dinner table is free, my brother and sister. And like I want to tell you, thank you so much, my brother and sister, for coming to the dinner table. You could have been doing something else with your time, but you decided to have your dinner and break bread with me. I love you, brothers. I love you, sisters. Remember that, believe that, say la vie, and amen. Peace out.